And there I have. And I wanted to say a few words. There's nothing more important to me than to talk to young people and families and the adults that I support in them. And I think we have all three in the audience here. We have adults that are helping children even though they are not related to them. And we have family that are right behind their children here. And of course we have the young people in here who are our future. Not only our future, but they are our joy. I mean, it gives me such a joy to see the dreams of young people. And part of that dream must include one thing, and that is civic learning. I think I was asked to talk about civic responsibility. And I just want to say to the young people that if the American Red Cross is one of those organizations that provide that opportunity to help people who are in need of help. I could tell you that the American Red Cross is also part of an international network. There's such a thing as the International Red Cross. And Shirley have provided so much support to faraway nations, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua. I can't think of any country where there have been a crisis that Rochester haven't say that they're, through the American Red Cross effort, have not been able to lend a hand. So I cite that as an example that sometimes it's not just helping you friends next door, but also we as members of the international community and part of our humanity is also to reach out to people in our immediate area, but also far away, and also when they are in most desperate need. So let me ask 5 questions about civic responsibility. How many of you have given blood? Okay, that's a classic example of civic responsibility. How many of the young people have given blood? How many of the young people here have ever donated blood to the American Red Cross? Or we have some work to do. Now I'm going to ask people at the American Red Cross, so you guys give sec blood from young people? You take it? So I want everyone here to make a pledge that within the next, before the summer is over, all of you will find an opportunity to give blood to the American Red Cross. Guess what they do with it? Anyone can tell me what they do with that? Yeah, they provide it to the hospital so when we have an accident, when we're very ill, we can count on that. And that's one way of contributing on part of the civic responsibility. Now, let me ask you, how many people in here ever participated in a club to raise money for a cause, to help? Wow, the adult type, great. You're great role model, guys. Where are the students? How many of you have raised money to help another person or another group? Oh, good. Oh, my God, I have a half a dozen, so that's very good. Okay, so how many of you have tutored a child? Help a child or a young? Great. That's civic responsibility. Now, how many of you have seen your parents going to vote on the election day? Belen goes and do that and register people every time there's an election. Belen is one of those persons. Raise your hand, Belen Colon. For years, she has been registering people to vote because that's part of the civic responsibility. Now, Father Tracy is probably the person who, as a priest, but also as a person who is so kind. I have seen him, sacrifice himself during difficult time. And he's an individual that will give you everything he has to help another person. So What am I saying? I'm giving you an example. I could talk to you about, to the young people here, how important civic responsibility is, but you don't have to hear from me. You see it every day. When you come to your school, there are volunteers. When you go to your community, you see people. You see the American Red Cross, so you see that every day, and it's so important to do that. Why is it so important? Because life is much easier, life is more joyful, and yes, less painful. Imagine going to the hospital where you're bleeding and you don't have any blood. So, I can tell you how important it is. I believe that there is no such a thing as an educated person if that person doesn't take part in the civic life of the community. And as a school, we try to do that. Many of you take a course, how many of you are in 12th grade? Great. Some of you are going to take a course called Participation in Government. And that is too late to learn about civic. My hope is that each one of you will begin to learn way before then. Because at what age did you begin for kids to allow? 13. 13. So pretty much everybody in this room could take part in that. I will conclude with 3 things. One is that you are very fortunate. I can see that. And my dissertation was dealing with the lives of students that were facing adversity, difficult time. By the way, that every human being goes through that. So if you are facing some challenge, don't worry about it. You will overcome. Particularly if you have a lot of hope and a lot of support. And Father Tracy said, even a little bit of faith will help. I'm not supposed to talk too much about faith. I leave that to Father Tracy. But I could say to you as a young person that you are very fortunate because I can see the love of you. Families, adult organizations like the Red Cross and all the school to help you. So don't matter what you're going through, you always have to believe that there's a person up there, or not just one person. There are many people up there who can help you. And it's okay, by the way, part of your civic responsibility is to ask for help. Right? It's not just giving, but it's also receiving that support. So for the young people, I will say, one thing that I will say to you is all of you could graduate from high school and move on, going to college, or going to a career, or do whatever you dream will become through if you work at it and you have the support that you need. By the way, don't matter which adversity. The person, for example, who invented the light bulb, Thomas Edison, couldn't write, not because he wasn't brilliant, but because he had a dyslexia. I mean that he wasn't dumb, but the teacher at one point was frustrated with him because he couldn't even write his name. However, the hard work was that he never gave up his curiosity, and also he always tried to make a contribution. So here's what I'm going to say. He tried over 400 times before he was able to get that light bulb going. So 400 times, years and years and years. So persisting is very important. So if you're going to graduate from high school, you're going to have to work a little hard, even if you're a genius, by the way. Right, Belen? Because you're very smart. And you did work a little hard to graduate from high school. So, number 2 that I want to leave you with, and that is find something besides school, and that's where civic responsibility comes in, that you're connected to. That could be, and you already are, because you're already part of the American Red Cross program, right? So that, sport, or any other things, that would be great. Last but not least, have a sense of pride for yourself regardless of what's going on. By pride, I mean is that no one can take that away from you. Like, for example, there are times in school that you hear this whole notion of bullying, right? And we could be so kind to one another, right? All of us have experienced and have seen people that are kind to us. How many of us have experienced someone that is a little nasty to us? Okay. For the young people, because we adult people like me with gray hair who are grandpa, you know, we get to be a little wiser. So I leave you with this because I know I see this in school. It says, when you experience that kind of thing, sometimes kindness will help, or sometimes to talk to an adult and tell them what's going on in your life, with your parents or somebody else. That, by the way, is part of your civic responsibility. If you see another kid being bullying or someone being nasty, you might reach out to them and be kind. And I bring that third point because as I travel through school and I read a lot of reports about kids with stress, this whole notion of not being kind to one another is getting in the way. Now, I want you to be a good reader, good scientist, and good academics. But if you are not kind to one another, that education is not as good as if you are actually. Some people will say that it could do harm. If you have a lot of knowledge and you're nasty, you just have more ability to be nasty, right? Like sending text message. Now you know how to write, and now you send text message. So anytime you have that need, because some people have told me it's part of human nature to have that balance, kind, not so kind and nasty. So try always to be like this, kind, until you fall all over by being so kind. If you're standing too tall and you think that no one can mess with you, that is danger. So I leave you with that because I love each one of you, and I'm so proud of you that you're part of the Rochester City School District or any other district. But there's no better times for you to begin to think about this issue than now. Because when you get old like me, you grow up being nasty, oh my God, it's so tough. When you get to be 40 or grandpa, to do away with that. And also, if you don't learn math now, or English, or social study, and graduate from high school, boy, when you get my hair, it's very hard to graduate. So there's a lot of things that you want to do now. One is graduating from high school, being kind to one another, and the other thing is to feel that you always have a support. And by the way, you can call me. If you think that no one is up there for you, pick up the number, because I know that I make this offer to everybody. No one call me because there's always someone before they had to call me that is there for them. I want to thank each one of you, and hopefully next time I come here, all of you have given blood and could raise your hand. Thank you.